every day. Yeah, yeah. I wanna tell you I love your way every day. Yeah, I wanna be with you night and day. Ooh, baby, I love your way every day. Yeah, yeah. I wanna tell you I love your way.
Some Big Mountain for you, brought to you by Jazz. Thank you very much, bro. That was an awesome song, one of my favorite songs growing up, and at one point in my life, I did not know who sang that song. I assumed it was UB40. I've been corrected, and I stand corrected. It's Big Mountain. If you love that song, that means you grew up in the same generation. And if you grew up in the same generation, it means right now, you're watching this as parents. Parents form that protective space around the nucleus of family, that all-important key component for nation building. And that is why we've chosen for the very first episode on Talk to Terrence to put the focus on parenting. But before we get into the subject of conversation, I just want to say, Alhamdulillah, praise be to the Almighty for the opportunity to put on a show like this. I also would like to thank the Minister of Communications and Multimedia and the Director General of Broadcast for their blessings and the opportunity to go green with this program. I also want to thank all the team that's behind that camera, production crew, the lighting, the sound, and all the technical advisors that have made this show possible. You've also stuck with me for over 17 years, from hair on to hair off. And here we are, Talk to Terrence, a show that aims to boldly go where no show has gone before on RTM. Now, our very first topic may seem like, it's a safe space to be, but let me assure you, we're just getting started. So, with that said, let's get back to talk about parenting. Parenting, as you know, comes with its own set of blessings and also a little bit of the nightmares. We're on this journey together, parents, as we aim to raise these tiny humans we call kids. How do we do it? How do we even start? Where do we begin? We have to be friend, enforcer, and also a source of inspiration because we want to show them what they can be. We want them to follow in our footsteps. Or do we? Do we even want them to follow in our footsteps? Don't we want them to be their own people at some point in time? It's all so confusing. Add to the mix, we've got media. And media is taking them in so many different directions. There are violent games, there are content that beguiles the mind, there's scientific backward twisting that even I don't understand. So how do we make sense of all this? We've got an expert in the house coming up to talk about parenting, but beyond that, we have three parents who are stars in their own right, beautiful people. They're going to be here on the show to share their life experience, bringing up not only kids, but kids of different generations. We've also got a parent who's coming up, and she will share her journey of how she raised her son, who's a special needs kid, in the environment that we live in today that can be so difficult. And I'm sure you're all going to be in agreement with me that she deserves the title of Supermom. That's going to be a badge of honor that she wears for the rest of her life. We also had a parent who had the arduous task of being a remote dad. He had to be miles away from his kid for a very long time. The pandemic exacerbated the experience of parenting. And he was away from his kid for a good 13 months. Boy, that's heartbreaking. How do you do it? We're going to find out with our guest in the studio shortly, but before we get into the subject of parenting, it's time to glaze those guns. What do you think, Jazz? Big Mountain enough for you? I'm trying to work on my game. I know you are too. Parents, you got to stay fit because you are raising up the most challenging set of kids in the world. At any period of human history, this has been the most challenging, and you are on a very difficult journey. So being fit and being ready for anything is a challenge. We're going to get you in the best shape of your life, hopefully, with our next guest in the studio who's going to help take away the flabby with Gabby Robinson. She's going to be here in the show. So don't go anywhere. Stay right with us. We'll be back right after more Big Mountain.
Ooh, baby, I love your way every day. Yeah. tell you I love your way every day. Yeah. I wanna be with you night and day. Oh baby, baby, please. Ooh, baby, I love your way. I wanna tell you I love your way.
And with that song that we all used to work out to in the early 90s and late 80s, we come into our first ever topic on fitness here on Talk to Terrence. I'm really excited to speak to the one and only Gabriella Robinson.
Hello, Terrence.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. In fact, thank you for having me on the show, as I believe it is also the first time that you're airing it, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
This is the first time we're airing a conversation on fitness, and you are our very first fitness guest.
Yes.
All right. So let's get started. I can't leave you hanging like this because I've got my nice cup of, chocolate, I think this is.
Okay.
So let's have some beverage.
Okay, a coffee.
Cheryl's got some.
Yeah.
What have you got there?
It's a
Latte.
latte. Okay, thank you so very much.
Eh,
Thank you.
Wait a minute. You fitness people can drink latte?
Of course we can.
Why?
Who says we can't? What do you mean why?
I thought you guys only had black coffee and green tea and,
Well,
teh O.
I think if you're trying to cut weight and cut dairy out because dairy is fat, okay, but I believe balance in all things, and I'm totally fine with having dairy. So thank you. Thank you for the coffee.
Wow. He's going to be
Yeah.
able to not sleep tonight. Huh?
Yeah.
Cannot sleep tonight already, bro.
Or me too.
All right, let's move on and focus on your diet. So
Okay,
you
sure.
just said something that resonates with a lot of Malaysians because we love our food. We cannot say no to our food. We cannot part ways with our rice.
Right.
How do we bring that into perspective and balance out that diet?
As a Malaysian, I understand that it's very difficult to part ways with rice or bread or roti, right? Because we love it so much; it's a staple in our diet. But I think if you're trying to be very health conscious, there are some things that we need to maybe just have smaller portions of, controlled portions of, because the rest of the foods that we eat are also really high in sugar, in oil, in salt. Yeah.
We just saw you do a workout, which I don't think I will ever
Oh.
attempt in this lifetime. But how many of those do you have to do to burn, let's say, one roti?
Oh, well, one roti, I'd say maybe about 250 calories for one roti. So maybe if it's cycling, for instance, then maybe one 45-minute class, 45 minutes worth of cardio. For me.
45 minutes worth of
Of
cardio to
cardio.
burn one roti. Okay,
Yeah.
you do the math.
Yeah, for me, it depends on our size, right? Depending on our physique, we burn either more or less calories. I'm a little bit smaller, so I burn lesser calories over a certain amount of time.
That's the
Yes.
secret.
Yeah.
So let's start also with your concept of fitness. How do you take charge of your fitness? Because if you're someone who's never before attempted to, what's the best way to take baby steps towards getting started?
I think it's just set little goals. Instead of thinking, okay, by the end of the year, I need to be this amount of weight and look like this, set maybe a weekly goal, right? Set a weekly goal that this week I'm gonna maybe exercise twice at least. Or if a weekly goal is too difficult, a daily goal. Set the schedule for the next day, the night before, and say, all right, tomorrow at this time, I'm gonna go for this class, and then hit that goal. Yeah, as
Baby
simple as
steps.
that. But I understand fitness is not easy for everybody.
Huh.
Sometimes it takes a lot of motivation to get up a bit earlier before going to work to go to the gym. And if you're not a morning person, then maybe going after work might be better for you. But then sometimes our schedule doesn't permit it because after work you have to spend time with family, right?
Right.
Yeah, so
Talking about family, Raya season is over, but the tummies are out again.
Right.
Because we've been eating loads of food, and most of the favorite cuisine during Hari Raya is
The
carb
pulut,
Intense.
the rendang, right?
I would say carb intense lah.
Yeah.
Be kind and politically correct when it comes to food.
Right,
Is there such a
okay.
thing? Yeah. Anyway, carb intense when it comes to food. So what do we do? What's the best exercise, Gabby, that you can say would help us with this problem?
You know, I feel exercise is a very personal journey. You can't only stick to one thing. I mean, you could if you'd like to, but personally, I like to mix it up. I think going to the gym, lifting weights is one way. Going outdoors, going for a run is one way. But the best way is to have a group sport, something you can do with your family, maybe badminton or some things family can do together, or you can do it with a community of people and make friends that way. Yeah.
So group activities you think are the best way to get started because you're motivating each other.
I think that's a fun way to do it. You know, however, if you want to be very specific with your goal, or let's say you're starting out, you're unsure of how the body movement is supposed to feel, what's the right form, then definitely do seek a coach or seek a fitness professional in that sense. Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people might have this perception that you came into the world perfect because, you know,
Right.
beauty queen, Miss Tourism International, and you're on TV or in a lot of events, so they assume that this is your default setting.
Okay, I would beg to differ.
All right.
I think it's a lot of discipline. It's discipline to get up early in the morning to get my workout in. It's discipline in terms of eating the right foods. I also have what we call hypothyroid. I'm a hypothyroid. That's you know,
That's the definition for what
that's
you have.
That's what I have. So basically, I don't produce enough of a certain hormone to sustain my metabolism. So I'm tired all the time. And I think maybe that's why I decided to do fitness, you know, to prove to myself that I could do it. And fitness also really does help with mental stamina as well as stability in terms of our mood. It makes us feel better. So really, I'd say it's discipline, making a decision to have a reason to get up in the morning and making the most out of my day.
Now, I can
Yeah.
attest to that. She'll coach a class now, and then like at night she'll host an event. So you'll have to put on a gown, you'll get out of your clothes and
Yeah.
your fitness attire, and you're putting on a different
Fun.
set of clothes. Your hair is done, your
Yeah,
makeup's on point,
yeah.
and you're good to go.
Yes. Yeah.
So that boost of energy, you find it through fitness?
I find it through fitness, and I find it that I can help people meet their goals, and that to me is really satisfying to know that people walk away from the class feeling good, and then they come back to another class, and I'm like, okay, something I'm doing in my routine is helping this person, and the fact that they're coming back to class means that they're enjoying it, and they can see a change. Yeah.
So, where can people find you on your socials, Gabby, and where can they go to lose the flabby with Gabby?
Oh, well, you can find me on social media. On Instagram, it's Gabriella Robinson. And if you're looking to train with me, you can find me at Fly Project. I teach indoor spin, and I also teach reformer Pilates.
All the best to you, Gabby. We look forward to having you back on the show to talk about your progression and your journey in fitness. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
our
so
very
much.
first fitness guest.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on the show.
You're most welcome. Jump us off.
And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I left you in and you let me down. You messed me up and you turned my life around. Left me feeling I had nowhere to go. I was alone. How was I to know that you'd be there when I needed somebody? You'd be there, the only one to help me. I had a picture of you in my mind. Never knew it could be so wrong. Why it take me so long just to find the friend that was there all along?
Picture of You takes me back musically, and it's definitely a song that describes parenting because we have a picture of what parenting is all about, and then your kid comes into the world, Jazz.
Yes.
And you know that whole thing you had going on, the plan.
Yeah.
It's magical,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's unpredictable. So Jazz is a dad, I'm a dad, and we've got some experts in the house. Experts because they have a lot more experience than me and him put together. So let's first introduce Dr. Suri, who's going to help put the science back into parenting. Is there such a thing? I'll find out later.
Okay.
And Joanne, oh my gosh, she has such an inspirational story to share with us. I can't wait to start. So before we do that, I want to say thank you to the both of you for coming on the show. This is our very first topic on parenting that we've had on Talk to Terrence. And I want to start with the basics. So define parenting in the modern world. Dr. Suri.
Define parenting in a modern world. So basically, modern parenting is not something that we're going to look at, dispel the myth first, okay? So modern parenting is not something that is a bad parenting. It's an excuse for bad parenting. It's not lazy parenting. So modern parenting is basically families who actually acknowledge their family uniqueness, because every family is different.
Absolutely.
So we acknowledge that. And then a lot of the modern families, modern parents, we have a lot more information than we have now than we had before. So we use a lot of data science and everything that we have to be backed up with evidence-based, Dr. Google and all of that to find all of this information to help us be better parents or parenting in the modern style.
All right, I will admit I did not Google how to parent. Joanne, talk to us about your personal journey, because from what we can see, your journey has been very different from what most parents go through.
Yeah.
Please.
So I'm 41 years old, the mother of 3. Then I have 2 beautiful girls. And one is my son is a special needs child. He is Down syndrome. Then yeah.
There he is.
Yeah, he's the one that is pigeon he. So I learned a lot from him because it's you say like modern mother actually is something like the way that it works, then it's good enough already for him. So for me it's quite freestyle, not really like have to like textbook or everything, but for me like love is everything.
How did you cope when you first discovered that your son was a special needs child?
During that time, I'm very young. I'm only 24 years old. So actually, during that time, the internet also not that that common. So I go to Google search already, then print out. Then yeah, I know what is Down syndrome. Then because he come with a lot of health problems, so actually I'm check in, check out. Hospital is quite frequent. So that's the mentally everything. Also, you have to really strong enough to handle all this. Yeah.
And on top of that, of course, you had your career. And Joanne went on to be Mrs. Malaysia, which is something super amazing. How do you manage to juggle all that?
Actually, before the pageant, I'm actually gained a lot of weight. Then I'm after the lose weight already because my health problem. Then I need to lose weight the 14 kgs.
You had health problems.
Yeah, I mean a knee problem. So I have to for move forward, then my leg is very important. So that's why I have to have conscious, then I need to weight loss for 14 kgs. After the 14 kgs weight loss, then I represent Malaysia as an international slimmer. Then go to UK to compete with another 17 countries, which is like maybe Australia, UK, and Germany. So it's a very eye-opening. So I feel like even just a mother and just take care of family, actually I can do more. Then I can inspire more women to really stand out and tell the world actually we can do more.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is so inspirational. I mean, her journey itself, it deserves a huge round of applause. I wish we had an audience here because we'd give you that. And I'm sure everyone at home, you're clicking that like button right now if you're viewing this on social media. Dr. Suri, not everyone is super mom. Right here. This is super mom material. I mean, she deserves a red cape with the S.
Yeah.
Not everyone finds the time, first and foremost, and the resources to make it work. How can you help parents out there who are watching this thinking, oh my gosh, that is incredible. I don't even measure up to that.
Well, first of all, parenting has to work within your own family context and family dynamics. right? So whatever works for your family, it works. And it's always important to kind of like balance it. I know like some people say, well, there's no such thing as balance lifestyle.
Balance of life, yeah.
But it's also about balance of life and then managing your time. All right, so being a super mom, right? So we have to remember that if mama ain't happy, no one's happy.
Mama ain't happy, no one's happy. I
Right.
can attest to that.
Okay? So always make sure that as mothers, because mothers, we have to juggle between personal, career, professional, family, husband, families, in extended families. So there's a lot of things that we have to juggle. So therefore, of course, we love our family, we love our children, we want to give them the best.
And we need to love ourselves.
But we need to love ourselves first. So take that time to always take care of yourself. Even if it's just 5 minutes, a cup of coffee, sitting out there in the backyard or, anywhere and just relax. So take care of yourself first, love yourself first, and then everything else will come into place.
So you have 3 kids with different needs and they're of different ages. How do you actually balance out which one deserves what? Because like I come from a DVD, CD generation. I
Same,
don't know what kind of tech they're using these days. I don't completely understand social media. I pretend to sometimes, but I don't. How do you cope? Because your kids are a generation apart from yourself.
Yeah, actually, even though I'm from the CDs and CD-ROM that century,
Give me a
but,
fist bump, sister.
but actually we also have to like nowadays like social media also is very popular already. So even though I'm from 80s, but I'm also quite active in this social media because I think like maybe my kids is a teenager already. They also quite active with maybe social media like TikTok, everything. So if we have the same, that's what call it.
Same vibe?
Yeah, same vibe.
Same
with them.
vibe as your
Then we
kids?
feel like more friends and that friendship instead of just like mother talk to your children. This is
Okay.
I think is quite.
Wait. Your daughter
important to
allow
connect.
you to follow them on social media?
Okay we
Not,
TikTok.
not okay, mass.
We TikTok together. Actually, I also TikTok during the MCO, the start MCO. She's the one that means to encourage me to start the TikTok because TikTok for me like is too young already.
Right.
It's too young already.
Right.
So I'm only start
But
TikTok.
you look 25, so that helps, I guess.
Yeah.
Dr. Suri, when it comes to this changing paradigms, it's not just social media, it's media in general, the amount of content that's been put out there.
Yep.
How do we play the role of gatekeeper?
Well,
Or
first,
should we?
Well, yes, of course. You're going to have to make sure that your children are safe online because, parents these days, it's kind of like they're trying to figure out, okay, I don't want my kids to go outside and hang out at the mall or be friends and everything because then they're going to get involved with a lot of things and it's going to get into trouble. I can't supervise them. And they think that it's actually safer, online. So, but then when it comes to online, there's a lot. I don't know which one is worst, but the risk and the danger is also there. So as parents, yes, you want to be open. You want to, you want to be cool like your kids, especially teenagers. They dress you up. They tell you how to look. All of that, matching pants, matching all of that part. But when it comes to like social media and everything, yeah, you try to be cool. You try to kind of hang out with them online. Not to kind of snoop around or to like, keep an eye on them like a hawk, but just kind of like I'm involved.
Yeah.
So without intruding too much into their space.
Okay.
And you still need to kind of watch what they're doing inside, online, who their friends are, who their associations are, and all of that. Because again, online right now, we have a lot of things going on.
Absolutely.
Online.
Well, you asked for a cup of coffee, so
Oh, thank
we
you.
got that sorted for you. And Joanne, you're on a
Yeah.
diet, so.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much once again for shedding the light that you have on parenting. But, as dads, we want to be the Papa Bear. We want to really protect our young ones. So if you mess, is this big enough? No, maybe not big enough. Can we see this? No, we can't. If this is not big enough, I'm going to get it even bigger because I want to scare away the boys. You get what I mean? Do you have that issue when your girls are old enough and you want to be mama bear and protect them and shield them from the world?
No, we can hang out together already.
Hang out together already?
Yeah, of course.
So, are they old enough to go on dates?
Not for me.
Nah, they are never old enough to go on dates. Dr. Suri,
I'm guilty.
when should they go on dates?
It's human being. It's human to have
They
feelings.
should never go on dates. No.
No, I shouldn't say this on TV.
No, you should.
But she's gonna kill me. But no. Well, yes, I chaperone.
Okay.
I chaperone. I mean, these are feelings. It's part of human being. It's part of being alive. You know, it's infatuation. It's puppy love, infatuation. It's life. It's something that you cannot take away from them. But you want to teach them how to be safe, how to be smart, what to say when certain people treat you the way that they're not supposed to. That's inappropriate.
Right.
We give them that skills so that they can have more. They can be in power. They can be in control of their own life and make certain decisions. But with that knowledge that we have shared with them. Of course, you know, I think at that time she was about like maybe 9 or 10.
9 or 10?
Yes, but we chaperoned. I
Alright.
chaperoned. So
Okay.
and we
Was
know
it like
that
a Play-Doh date?
it was some. I think it was a movie they were hanging out at the mall. I'm not even a mall person.
Okay.
But because of her, because of these two couple, young lovebirds, puppy love,
9 and 10.
I
Wow.
had to go to the mall with them.
Jazz and I would have gone guns blaring, you know. We would have been like all fake tattooed up and looking like all gangster and stuff.